Hello students, welcome to Dilr. This is Mayank Dubey, your reasoning and aptitude mentor, and today we are going to start data interpretation. So what is data interpretation? Data interpretation is the act of transforming data with the objective of extracting useful information and facilitating conclusions on the basis of the given data. Depending upon the type of data and the questions, we might be required to apply certain statistical tools with the various methods to represent the given data. So in simple language, we can say the process of examining, providing data and using that data to calculate the desired value is known as data interpretation. Data can be gathered from a variety of sources, including data from operating industries, census, population data, and so on. So data can be from any source. That can be based on population of any city, right? Production of any company, census, we can take the data from census, school report card, that also what? The data representation, that is also the data. So source can be anything. And you just have to analyze that data, right? And calculate the desired value which they are asking. So whenever you are solving the question based on data interpretation, so what you require? So in order to answer the questions, interpreting data necessitates evaluating data in order to deduce information. Data can be presented in a variety of ways, right? Representation can be based on many varieties like bar graph, tables, line graph, pie graph, Caslet DI. So you are having many options, many ways to, right? Many ways to represent the data. Now, in data interpretation, what you have to do, you just have to analyze and assist individual and each data. So, first of all, you have to observe the given data, what is given to us, right? And what I required, what are they asking in the question? So, from that data, you have to take that values, right? You have to observe, and then you have to calculate the answer. It can be based on percentage, it can be based on number, average, ratio, any kind of data they can ask you, right? The value you have to choose from the options. So there will be questions where 4 to 5 options available, means it could be. So means what we can say, it is the type of MCQs or not. Yes. So in data interpretation, first of all, they will represent the data in any way, right? In bar form, as I told you, table form, pie graph form. But you must know how I have to take out that data, how I will observe, right? How I calculate. So for that, first of all, you must know what percentage. So you must have command on percentage, ratio, profit and loss, average, time and work, speed, time and distance. These are the what? Aptitude topics, right? Chapters. And you must have command on these chapters so that you can easily, right, analyze and you can easily solve the question based on data interpretation. Once you know how you have to analyze the data, how you will read the given data, right? How you can take out the required data from the given data table, data graph, whatever. Because there are many types and different varieties, different types, right? So I hope you understood it very well. Now, in data interpretation can be done in 2 ways. You can, right, solve in 2 ways. It depends on what? Quantitative procedure and qualitative procedure, right? So it depends on that. So first of all, we will go for qualitative. So what is qualitative method? to evaluate qualitative data, also known as categorical data. The qualitative data interpretation approach is utilized rather than the number or pattern are used in this method represent information. Before qualitative data can be examined, it must first be coded into numbers because the texts are frequently lengthy and time consuming. The analyst's coding is also documented so that it can be referenced afterwards. It can be reused by others and further investigated. Now, in qualitative data, as we discussed, it is based on what? Text rather than the numbers or patterns. Now we will discuss about the quantitative data. So it is based on what? Quantity means the number form. So quantitative data, often known as numerical data, is analyzed using the quantitative data interpretation approach. This data type contains numbers and may thus be studied using numbers rather than text. Just reverse of that qualitative. Quantitative data can be divided into two categories: discrete and continuous data. So in continuous data form, if we will talk about that, so continuous data is further separated into interval data and ratio data, all of which are numeric data types. Analysts do not need to employ the coding method on quantitative data before examining it because of its natural presence as a number. So, analyzing the quantitative data necessitates the use of statistical modeling techniques such as standard deviation, mean, median. As I told you, it is what? It is just a representation which I told you in this form it can come. So mainly your question based on what? Quantitative, right? Data where the values will be given in the number form, right? And the representation can be based on what? It can be based on graph representation, which is also known as pictorial representation. And the another one is Caslet DI, which is completely theoretical part of data interpretation, where the data is given in the form of theory, right? Now, we will talk about the various types of data interpretation, how you will represent that, some example we will discuss. Then the right approach, how you will approach the question, because your calculation must be good whenever you are solving these kind of questions. So, if we will talk about the representation, how many types of DI will come in your exam? So bar graph, first we will discuss about the pictorial representation. In pictorial way, if we will talk about that pictorial type, so in that bar graphs, line graphs, pie chart, tabular representation, this all will come. So what is bar graph? Bar graph DI. So how the bar graph DI will come? So bar graph is what? With rectangular bars, a bar graph or a bar chart represents explicit data. These bar graphs, heights and lengths are proportionate to the data values they show. The horizontal bar graph and the vertical bar graph are the two forms of the bar graph available, right? Horizontal and the vertical. So the x-axis and y-axis are the two axes that make up a bar graph. So what you have to do, you just have to analyze. This is what? This is the y-axis and this is x-axis, right? Now, some bars are given like this. And in these bar, right, in horizontal axis, year also mentioned 2002, 2003, 2004. And in y-axis, the reading, the value of those bars are given, right? It starts from 0, then 10, then 20, then 30, then 35, like this. It is given like that, as we can see. And it is representing what? The production in tons. Production of a company in tons. So now, by the help of these bars, we can easily analyze in 2002, right? What was the production? It was around 30 tons. In 2003, we can say the production was 28 tons, right? In 2004, again, it is what? Similar, means 28 tons. In 2002, what was the production? So you can say 30 tons. Now we can compare the production of 2002 and 2003 in any way. We can calculate the average production of 3 years also, right? We can talk about the growth of the production or the downfall in the production, whatever. We can calculate in form of percentage, in form of numbers, numeric values, right? So this is what? This is the representation of bar graph, where bars are available. In bar graph itself, there are various types, right? In bar graph itself, there are various types. Comparative bar graph also can come, where two data, more than two datas are given, right? That kind of data can be there, where two bars and right, two connected bars are available in particular unit, in particular year. In y, right, in x-axis, there will be a data from which you have to compare, right? The reference, in which year they are talking, which company they are talking, which product they are talking, anything can be. And y-axis will show you what? Y-axis will show you the actual value, right? It can be terms of percentage, production. It depends on the type, model, which we have taken into our bar graph representation. If it is in production, then the unit can be in tons. If it is in based on marks, student marks, so it will be in that, right, that particular unit. If we are talking about the length, it will be in centimeter, meter. If we are talking about the areas, then it will be in meter square, centimeter square. So it depends on that. So you have to keep these things, right, these things in your mind. So there are what? There are two parameters whenever you are solving the, right, bar graph question. So one will be at what? Y-axis, as I told you, that will give you the reading, and one will be at x-axis. So based on that two parameters, you have to solve the question. Now, data, as I told you, data is represented as horizontal or vertical bars in this section. In this section, one of the parameter is plotted on y-axis, while the other is plotted on x-axis. We must first comprehend the material provided before responding to the questions, right? A bar graph or a bar chart is a visual representation of grouped data using rectangular bars that we have discussed. The lengths of these bars are proportionate to the value they indicate, and they might be, right, horizontal or vertical. So value you can take out, as I told you, right? One axis will give you the value, and one will be the different parameter, second parameter of the graph. Now, as I told you, the graph has two axes, one of which indicates the specific categories being compared, and the other a discrete value, right? What does it mean? One shows you the category and one will give you the reading actually. In the example, in previous example, as I mentioned, 2002, 2003, so that is the category of years, right? And the other axis is giving you what? The reading, right? The values which you have to take. So I hope you understood now how we have to take out the value. Bar graphs with clustered groupings of more than one bar are called grouped bar graphs. As I told you, connected, right? Where two bar graphs are connected to each other, three bar graphs, grouped bar graphs are given, right? With the categories so that we can easily compare. So as we can see, we are having here favorite activities of teenagers in India. So sports, right? Categories are sports, computer games, music, shopping. So it is available in which axis? So it is available in x-axis. While the percentage from 0 to, right? There are how many? 100%. We will take the 100%, right? Till 100% it will go y-axis. So now in that particular axis, what we can say? We can easily analyze that in sports, they have categorized. This is what? Grouped bar graph, where two bars are available with each other in each category. Sports category, then computer games, then music, then shopping. These are the four categories which are given to us, right? This is the parameter in our x-axis. So in sports category, they have divided the teenagers into two, right? Two parts. Boys and girls, right? Boys and girls. So boys is what? The green bar, right? The bar which is in green color, rectangular bar. And if we will talk about the girls, so yellow color represents girls. So as we can see in sports, computer games, music, shopping, so the data is available like that. Now we can take out the data accordingly, right? How many boys are in sports, right? Or the favorite activities of how many boys. For how many boys, the favorite activity is sports. For how many boys? So if we will talk about the favorite activity, so the boys' favorite activity we can take from this sports bar or not? Yes, we can take out from this, right? This category, particular category, the green one, the green bar is showing about the boys. So we can take out, okay, so it is around what? Around 28%. So we can say that 20% boys like what? Sports, right? Their favorite activity is sport. Okay. Now, if computer gaming, if we will talk about the computer gaming, how many girls like computer gaming? Their favorite activity is what? Computer gaming. So that we have to take out. So here we can see the yellow color in which computer game category, if we will look out. So two rectangular bar we can see. One is showing for the boys and one is for girls. So yellow one is showing for girls. So as we can see here, it is 15%. How much? 15%. So we can say 15%. If they will talk about the boys and girls ratio, particular ratio, so that also we can calculate. So this is what? This is the representation, and we just have to analyze the data. So first of all, how to read that? That is the first thing. How you will read the data? In vertical, generally in vertical axis, there will be a value, right? They will give you the discrete value. So you can take out those values, right? Reading. And in x-axis, horizontal axis, categories will be given. It can be based on time. It can be based on any different kind of activities like sport, computer game, as you can see in this question. So it depends on the question. So I hope now you understood. The similar thing you have to, right? You can see in line graph also. The same thing. Line only will come, but x and, right? But y and x-axis will be similar, in similar form. Now we will talk about the next type of bar graph, which is based on what? We will discuss that also. Bar graphs with bars separated into sub-portions to deposit cumulative effect are called cumulative bar graph or stacked bar graphs. So sub portion means segment. There is a bar. If we will divide based on categories, if we will subdivide that bar graph, so there will be what? There will be some particular segment. So that kind of bar graph will, right, what you can say, that is known as a stacked bar graph. What? Stacked bar graph. Now we will solve some example. So one, right? So each type with example will be easy for your better understanding, right? Now, the following bar graphs depicts the numbers of AMS career students who pass the CAT exam, CET exam, or none of these exams at its Lucknow center. Presume that no pupils have passed more than one exam. Now, this is the data which is given to us, right? So, what is given to us? The following graph depicts the number of AMS careers students who pass the CAT exam, SET exam, CET exam, or none of these exams at what? Its Lucknow center. Now, this is what given to us, right? The various exams and the student who passed that exam. Okay. So, in bar graph, what is given? The number of students who qualified CAT, Z, CET exams. Now, 2000, 2001, 2002. So, this is what? This is the years which are given in the x-axis. So, in 3 years, they are talking about 3-year data. Now, in the y-axis, what is given to us? Number of students from 0 to 250. That is the reading which is given to us. Now, if we will talk about particularly 2000, right? Year 2000. So, in 2000, how many belongs to CAT? How you will analyze? So, here you can see a bar is available, but that bar is subdivided into some part. There is a segment, right? In different colors, and different color indicates different exams. If we will talk about the blue color, so it represents CAT. If we'll talk about SET exam, so that is represented by that brown color. And CET is represented by the gray color. And none, the student who passed, or we can say the student who failed, right? None of these exams, the student who passed, none of these exams. So what we can say? That those students will belong to yellow color segment in the particular bar. So in these 3 years, different, right? In each bar, these 4 categories are available, right? The bar, particular bar is subdivided into the particular categories, right? There are 4 categories: CAT, SET, CET, and none, right? Now, as we can see in each segment, the data is also written as, right? If we will talk about the year 2000, so in 2000, how many students passed none of the exam, right? So we will say 30 students are there like that. If we will talk about the gray bar, right? Gray color. So that represents you the CET exam. So how many passed the CET exams? So in 2000, year 2000, so 60 students. Similarly, how many passed the SET exams, right? So that, right, particular exam is passed by 60 students. 20 students passed the CAT exam in 2000. So there is what? These students belongs to AMS career students, right? AMS careers. These all belongs to AMS careers. Okay. It can be an institution or something. Now, the question, first question. What was the percentage of students who cleared CAT in 2000? And your options are option A 19.56%, option B 12.65%, option C 14.28%, option D 11.76%. So what was the percent of student who cleared CAT in 2000? So in year 2000, how many students passed the CAT exams? So that you can easily read out from the given data that CAT students belongs to blue color. So in year 2000, in blue color segment, right, but that particular subdivided part, how many students are available? 20. But they are not asking that 20 students. They are talking in percentage, and there is a big difference between the number of students and percentage of students, right? So number of students was 20. That is completely correct. But how many percent, right? What was the percentage? So that percent will be with respect to total number of students from AMS careers in that particular year. So in that particular year, if we will calculate, so in 2000, 30 plus 60 plus 60 plus 20, we can go for that particular graph. And what is the reading, right? 4 subdivided parts, 30 students who passed none of the exam, 60 students who passed the CET, then 60 students who passed the XAT, means SET exams, then 20 students who passed the CAT exam. So 30 plus 60, 90, 90 plus 60, 150, 150 plus 20, 170. So total number of students was 170. And with respect to 170, how many passed CAT examination? So you will say 20 students. Now 20 upon 170 multiply 100%. That is the formula, right? For percentage. We just have to find out the value. First of all, which number we have to compare with respect to. So here 170 is the 100% students from AMS career in that particular year, and 20 students passed the CAT exam. So 20 upon 170 into 100. Now 0, 0 cancel. 200 upon 17. So how many times? One time we can cancel first. 17 ones are 17. Then 3. So 17 ones are 17s again. 13 will be the remainder. So we can put point and increase 0 in that. Right? How many times we can cancel? 7 times. So 11.7 something. Right? 11.7. Around that value, your answer will come. So is it available in the options? Yes, it is available in option D. Right? 11.76%. So your answer will be option D, 11.76%. I hope you understood how we approached. So whenever we are solving these kind of questions, so your approach must be correct, right? And calculation must be fast. Then only you can solve these kind of questions in short duration. Now the second question is based on the same information, same graph. What was the percent of students who succeeded in at least one of the 3 exams in 2000? And your options are option A 82.45%, option B 82.8%, option C 82.35%, option D 83.33%. Okay. So now what is given to us? They are asking what was the percentage of student. So they are talking about this percentage. So as we know, the total number of student will be what? It will represent 100%. From these 100%, how many passed at least in one exam? So at least in one exam means what? They can pass more than one exam also. But at least one, right? A student who passed one exam also will come in that category, right? Okay. And a student who passed more than one also can come there. But as we can see that it is given us in the instructions that presume that no pupil have passed more than one exam. So at least one, right, included the students who passed the one exam, right, at least one exam. And we know that a student can pass, right, only one exam, not more than one. And there are some students who neither pass, right? And we are having some students who didn't pass in any exam, right? Now, there are 170 students, right? We know that 170 pupils in total. 30 students fall within none group. They completely, what we can say, they failed or they are not passed in any of the given exam. They have not passed any of the given exams. As a result, what we can say, 170 minus 30 upon 170, because we have to remove those students who are not coming, right, who are not coming into the category of these three exams, right? Passed students, the student who passed one of the exam from these three, that, right, those student only we have to include here. So as we know that these 30 students, if we will move on to the our given bar in year 2000, so the blue color represent that, right, the student who passed the none, right, none of these exams. So those students we just have to remove from the total. So 170 minus 30, so 140 student passed at least one exam. 140 upon 70, so what we will get, 140 upon 70 multiply 100. So 0 cancel, means 1400 upon 70. Now 140 is how many times you can cancel 140 from 17? So as we can say, 8 times, right? 8 times it is possible, because 17 8s are 136. Now 40 remaining. Now 17 2s are 34. Now is there any option where 82 something available, so that we will look out? There are 3 options with 82. So we have to find out after decimal also, one digit at least, because 82.45% is there, 82.8% is there, 82.35% is there. So very close options. Now already we have calculated 82, 6 left only, because 40, right, 40 was there. So 17 2s are 34. Now 6, but 6 is not divisible by 17, so we have to increase 0 here, so we will put decimal. Now 17 3s are 51. So 82.3, is there any option like that? Yes, it is available in option C. So that will be our correct answer. Option C, 82.35%. So first of all, you have to understand the language of particular question, what it wants to say, right? What it wants to deliver, what you have to observe. Because sometimes we understood the language wrongly, right? We are not getting the actual point there and we calculate the wrong thing. So whenever you are solving the question, first read out the each and every information carefully, what are they asking, and solve the question accordingly. And next question is, what is the percentage increase in the number of students in 2002 over 2000? So what are they asking here? What is the percentage increase in number of students? So they are not asking about the how many students passed or failed. They are talking about the student increase from 2002, right, to 2002. Now, our option for this question are option A 30, option B 17.64, option C 117.6%, option D 85%. So in 2000, as we know, already calculated total number of students were how many? 170. Now we will look out 2002 in the bar graph. So 40 plus 60 plus 60 plus 40. What we will get? We are adding each segment. It is divided into 4 parts, as we know that. Subdivided the bar in 2002 also. 40 plus 60, you will get what? 100. 100 plus 60, 160 plus 40, so 200. How many students were there? 200, right? Completely 200. So in 2000, the total number of students were 170, and in 2002, it becomes 200. So how many students increased? So 200 minus 170 means 30. So 30 is what? The valuable increase, right? In terms of value. But they are asking in terms of percentage. percentage increased students in 2002 over 2000. That is what we have to calculate. So 30, right? How many students increased? 30. And in previous year, means 2000, in 2000, how many students were there? 170. So with respect to 170, 30 is what percent? Because with respect to previous year only, we will compare the growth, right? That will be what? That will be the reference. With respect to that, it need to be increased. So with respect to 170, 30 is how much percent? So 30 upon 170 multiply 100. So 0, 0 cancel. 300 upon 17. Now 17 ones are 17. So 1 will come. Then 13 is the remainder. 130. So 17 sevens are 119. Again 11 is the remainder. So 17 will come. So 17, about 17, we can easily see. No need to solve too much. We can go through the options. This is the smart way. And if still the option is not matching, then we will go for the decimal solution. So as we can see in option B, 17 only available. In any other option, no, it is not available. In option A, 30%, option B, 17.64, option C, 117.6%, option D, 85%. So what we can say, 17.64 will be our correct answer. So that is the exact value which we require. Let's move on to the next question based on the same information. Which year showed the best result in MBA entrance exam for the institute in terms of percentage of students who clear? And your options are option A 2000, option B 2001, option C 2002, and option D cannot be determined. Which year showed the best result in MBA entrance exam for the institute? So we just have to find out the percentage of student who cleared any of the one exam, right? At least one exam. So we need to calculate the proportion of the student who passed the exam in year, percentage of student who have cleared at least one exam. And it is given to us that one student can clear one exam only. So what we have to do, we just have to find out the percentage of student in 2000, in 2001, in 2002 also. In these three, in 2000, as we already calculated, number of students who passed at least one exam was 82.35%. Now we'll go for 2001. So in 2001, 30, 60, 60, 30. So these are, right, these are the what? Detail, the data which is given to us particularly in color. As we can see in that bar, 4 segments, right, 4 parts, subdivided parts are there. So we just have to add 30 plus 60, 90, 90 plus 60, 90 plus 60, 150, 150 plus 30, 180. So total how many students are there? 180. Now, how many passed? Just remove what? The student who are not passed in any exam, right? Or we can say none of the exam. So 30 students, such kind of 30 students are there, because yellow color shows the student who passed none of the exams. So what we have to do, we just have to subtract 30 from 180, total number of students in that particular year. 180 minus 30, you will get 150. Now 150 upon 180 multiply 100. So what we will get? So 150 upon 180 multiply 100. So 0 to 0 cancel. Now 15 upon 18. Again we can cancel this by 3. So you will get 3 5s are 15, 3 6 are 18. Now 5 by 6. So 5 by 6 means 500 upon 6. Now you will cancel it by what? 500 cancelled by. Now you just have to divide 500 with 6, right? By 6. So 6 8s are 48. You will get 8. Then 2 is the remainder. Now it will become 20 because 0 is also there. So 20. Now 6 3s are 18. Now again 2. So we will put decimal. And again 0 will be added. So 6 3s are 18. So 83.33% in year 2000. Now if we will move on to the year 2002. So in 2002, as we know, total number of students we have calculated already, that was 200. Now how many students, such kind of students are there who passed none of the exams? So we can say that yellow portion in 2002 shows us what? The student who didn't pass any of the given exam, right? Now 40 students, such kind of 40 students are there. So 200 minus 40, what you will get? 160. So 160 with respect to 20 with respect to 200, total number of students, multiply 100. So 0, 00, cancel. Now 160 upon 2 means 80%. So what we can say, in 2000, 82.35% cleared one of the exams. In 2001, 83.33% students cleared one of the exam. And in 2002, 80% students cleared the exam. So what we can say, which year has the highest percent? So you will say 2001. And that is available in option B. So that will be our correct answer. So in today's session, we have discussed the basics of data interpretation. We have discussed about bar graph and some important questions. And I hope you understood it very well. I am your mentor Mayank Dubey for reasoning and aptitude. We'll see you in next session. Till then, keep learning, keep watching at Dilr. Thank you.